Good evening and welcome to our live crafting this evening. Thank you so much for joining me. I seem to have got rather a lot on my table, but let's give it a go anyway. My name's Jenny McCormack and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I'm based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire here in the UK. Welcome to you all, whether you're joining us live or on replay. I really appreciate you watching and catching up with us. If you are watching live, do say hi. It's lovely to know who's joining us. And if you're watching on replay, whether that is on Facebook or on YouTube, then a warm welcome to you and thank you for joining us. And if you have any queries or comments on the content of the video, then don't hesitate to pop those into the comment section, and if it requires an answer specifically, then I obviously will get back to you. I do monitor them on a regular basis, and but sometimes the odd one gets missed, and if that is the case, I apologise. So if you need an urgent answer and I haven't responded, then do let me know and I'll see what I can do. So we are using our new stamp set of the week, which is called Pansy Patch, that you can see here. We had great fun with it on Friday at Coffee and Card, and also yesterday in Toaster, and today in Brackley. And there's so many colour combinations of pansies that everybody had a really good time choosing different combinations and coming up with some really stunning examples. I did print off a graphic with some pansy designs on to help people. Here are just a couple. This is the one that I started with. And then I had this one here in oranges, and then I popped up a photo earlier on of some that were made today, and also a link to the video from yesterday, which had, I think, the Orchid Oasis ones. I've got a couple of others here and here, so plenty of different designs, lots of different colours. I've come up with a new colour combination which I really like, and I'm going to use those this evening, and that is Blackberry Bliss and the new Bubble Bath from our Subtles range. And these give a really nice combination for anything, whether they're flowers or backgrounds or images. I think they work particularly well together. I'm also going to introduce you to some of the dies that you can purchase that goes alongside the Pansy Patch stamp set. There are a whole host of them. Let's see how many there are altogether. 21 dies altogether. And as well as cutting out the main elements, which are the finished pansy, the two leaves, the other pansy, the stalks and the bud, it also creates its own pansy design without requiring any stamping. You also have the leaves obviously here and the stalks, and then there's another little bud stalk here. So I'm going to be using more of these later in the week, but today I'm going to stamp some pansies and cut them out just using the outline dies. I'm also going to use the Happy Birthday die that comes with this set of dies. There is actually another 2 dies on here that I haven't used, and that says you're too kind, I think, or you're so kind, you're too kind. And so I'm using the Happy Birthday here, so I'll show you a few hints and tips on using those. Right. Let's get started. I'll get started with some stamping, and then I'll just use some simple die cutting. So do say hi if you're joining us. I don't have my mobile in front of me, So fingers crossed I'll see any messages as they pop up. If I don't respond, then I do apologise. It's not because I'm ignoring you, it's because I can't see any of the comments. Right, so I'm just going to use I've got some basic white card here, and I'm going to stamp 3 pansies, 2 large probably, and 1 small. I might end up doing a couple of small ones. We'll see how we go. So this is just plain thin white card, perfect for stamping. And I'm going to start with Blackberry Bliss. I'm going to do all the stamping in one colour and then switch, just to save a bit of time as much as anything. So let's just grab a spare sheet of grid paper, just so that I've got that underneath there, and I can also use that to stamp off if I require. Hopefully you can see that okay. So definitely a colder day today for us here in the UK. Back to winter clothes. Very strange. 2 days ago we were basking in beautiful sunshine. Okay, I'm going to do one with this stamped off and take my glasses off. So this is that lovely Blackberry Bliss. It's very well named, that's for sure. And I'm leaving a gap in between, obviously, for when I'm doing my die cuts. Let's do a couple of small ones as well. There's that one, and while I'm at it, I'll just do a third one of the little ones there. Okay, now I'm going to use the bubble bath. So this is a nice pale pink, quite a soft baby pink, and I'm going to use that to go over the top. And if you've got some grid paper or some scrap paper, it's always worth just trying it out, see what it looks like, make sure you're happy with it. At the end of the day, it is only paper or card, so it's not the end of the world. Okay, so I'm just going to look through the stamp here, position it over the top. So there's 1 and 2, like so. And then let's do the same with the other little pansy. So we've got 1, 2, and I'm just going to keep that one stamped off for our third one there. Okay, now I'm not quite sure what colour I'm going to do for the next infill. I think what I'm going to do is use the bubble bath, but I'm just going to stamp it off first and turn it round the right way. Just so I've got, it's almost too light, isn't it? So perhaps I won't stamp it off. There we go. So 1, 2, and the same with this one. So this one here is going to be in Blackberry Bliss. So I hope everybody has had a good day. It's been a busy day for me, but always fun. We were at Coffee and Card this morning, and we're approached by a new lady who's going to be joining us, so that's excellent. And we've got our little detail here. There's that one. Let's stamp that one off just for something different. and again for this one. There we go. And then finally we've got our little centres, and we can use the tiny centre stamp as long as I don't lose it. I don't want this one pinging off into my bin because I really will never find it. And I'm going to do that centre in a yellow. Let me put my glasses on. Good evening, Kay. How are you? I hope you are well. So I'm just going to grab crushed curry. I seem to have, I don't know whether I've lent out Daffodil Delight or whether I put it somewhere safe. So I'm going to have to order another Daffodil Delight ink pad, I think. I might look in my spares. Oops, see if I can find it. Yes, there it went. Oh no. I put my glasses back on. It hopped off. This could be dangerous, couldn't it? Okay. I'm not going to move around too much. I knew I shouldn't have done that. So let us just use a yellow pen for the middle, and then I will hunt that out. Luckily it's nowhere near my bin, if that's any consolation. Okay, so glasses off. Let's just do a little infill. So this one is dark lemon lolly, just for these middles, like so, and there. And you can use them around the edges. Some of the ladies did a great job by adding a little bit of yellow along these edges of the petals that really made them stand out. Okay, so those are my pansies as they are. So I'm going to die cut those shortly, and I'm going to use these ones here. So these are just the outline dies. So we've got this one here and that one there. So I'm going to run those through the machine in a second. I got the leaf one out in case I use that. I'm also going to do this happy birthday, and I'm keeping these colours as my colour theme. So what I'm going to do is cut this out in the bubble bath and then put it onto the darker Blackberry Bliss background. And what I like to do where I've got the thin die is use some of our self-adhesive sheet. So this is our sticky sheet, sticky on both sides. And what I'm going to do is pop it onto my piece of scrap card here and then cut out my happy birthday. And then I don't need to apply glue to the back because I can just peel off the backing. So what I like to do, so that you're not wasting the sticky sheet, is just cut a piece of card roughly to size for your die cut, and then cut a similar piece of our sticky sheet. These come 12 sheets to a pack, and they're 6 inches by 12 inches long. And you can just use any little bits that you need. Trickiest bit is getting one layer off. There we go. Okay. And you really want to avoid getting the adhesive sheet anywhere other than on your piece of card, because it's very sticky. The glue comes off easily, don't get me wrong, it's not like the wet glue that will sit there. So that's on the back. So what I'm going to do is cut my happy birthday along here, and then I'll peel off the backing. And then what I have got ready, which I've just buried, I think. Yes, I have. Is I've got a bubble bath card, I've got a piece of Blackberry Bliss, and I've cut out the backing, this one here, to the happy birthday, and then I'm going to use a white piece on top that I'm going to put my flowers on and my happy birthday design. At least that's the theory. So let's pop this to one side and let's just cut these out. So I'll do this one first. I've just got my die cutting machine just to the right of my desk, or just to the right of the screen I should say, of where I'm working. So I'm going to pop the happy birthday on first. Oops, like so. Just knocking everything off as I go along. Okay, so there's my happy birthday, and the back of the sticky strip is slightly opaque, so it makes it easier to see. So I'm just going to use our hooky tool to pop that out. Like so. And what I like about this is you get the happy and the birthday separate. These are from the Wanted to Say dies, if you haven't seen those. So although these go together, and the idea is that you can layer them up like so, you can snip around here and here. You just do it very carefully and then separate the words out altogether, especially if you're struggling for space. So I'm going to pop those little bits out. Having said that, when you pull the backing off, you'll find that all those little middle pieces come out anyway. So all you need to do is just lift up the edge of the backing. Take my glasses off. I might be able to see what I'm doing. Like so. And then just be gentle with it, don't go mad. Just gently tease this away, like so. Like that. You see it's taken off the extra bits and pieces. And then what I like to do is put my pokey tool, or you could use tweezers or the tip of your scissors, to hold it in place roughly over your background, and then just lightly position it, and then don't apply any pressure until you've got it in its position. And I do like the fact that the dot on the eye is actually attached. I know in the past we've had dots that are separate, and they're a bit of a nuisance when they come apart. Okay, let's do the same with this one for our happy. There we go. And again, just peeling it gently, don't go mad. Okay, and then we're just going to pop this in. Just positioning it lightly until you've got it where you would like it. So there is our Happy Birthday die cut. So I'm just going to cut out these pansy flowers in our coordinating colours. So that was Blackberry, Bliss and Bubble Bath. Let me just pop those through. Sorry, it's not very exciting for you while I'm doing that. I'll be as quick as I can. I do actually have 2 sets of dies because I borrowed some from Sam. But it won't take a minute to cut these out. There we go. So you've got one, and you can mix and match. Obviously the die cut flowers with the stamped flowers, and you can mix and match the fully die cut flowers with the stamped and die cut ones as well. And when this first came out, there were some coordinating papers as well, which if you were a customer of Stampin' Up at the time, you might still have some available. They had some nice gingham on the reverse, I remember. Go. So I'm just running that through once. That's really all it needs. Just got a single layer. And you could also cut some plain card behind if you wanted to. And while I'm there, might as well do that last little one. Now you might wonder on my plates, if you've seen it, why I have a piece of grid paper seemingly attached to the top. It's not actually attached, but I've been die cutting a lot of white card after I've been die cutting a lot of navy card, and what can happen is that the bits of the navy card gets embedded into the plate, and you can see it quite clearly on here. If I just put this bit behind, and you see there's lots of little bits of navy, and what I don't want to do is that to transfer. So what I do is I just put a piece of grid paper underneath my top layer, and then when I'm putting it through the die cutting machine, that protects it from any odd bits that are in the plate until I can clean the plates. The other thing that does is it stops the dies moving, because there's more resistance for the paper than there is for the sheet, for the acrylic sheet. So it also helps. So this is just a scrap. You can see where I've been using it to die cut lots of circles, and then when it's finished with, I just bin that and start again. So if you're wondering why that is the case, that's my reasoning behind it. Okay, so I've got some flowers. I've got my happy birthday. Let's put these dies to the side, get our layers out, and then work out just how to put the card together. So these are my layers. Now I haven't decided if I'm going to do something with the background, so let's put these two on there first. Just going to put some glue on the edges of this, obviously avoiding the gap in the middle, and I'm just going to use our seal tape runner, oops, without trying to attach everything in its wake. Just put a little bit on that corner there. Okay, so this is going on my Bubble Bath base card, and the size of this is 10 centimeters by 14.35. That is a ½ centimeter less smaller than our standard A4 card. Obviously if you were in America, you use US letter sizes, which are different. They're wider but shorter. Okay, so I've got my flowers here, and usually when you see pansies they are sort of this way round. So I don't want too many on there. I think 3 pansies, and I might just die cut a couple of leaves then. Actually, what I might do is turn this round and have it at the top. I was going to do it landscape, but I think actually this happy birthday is bold and it needs to go that way, but I will have it quite a long way down. So I'm just going to do a couple of leaves and then we are done. So welcome to anybody who has joined us since the start. Let's just stamp a couple of leaves. Just move these out of the way. Mustn't forget to find that tiny little stamp that I've dropped. And I've got a piece of card here, and I'm looking for some old olive. That's what we use today. And I might add a little bit of background texture on here as well. So let's take this one. So this is old olive. This is the detailed die. And my old olive, as you can see, is extremely light. So just going to stamp this off. In fact, that on its own looks really effective, doesn't it? You don't have to have both layers if you don't want to. And I was thinking it's got an interesting line across there, and that's a hair. I'll show you, see if you can see it up close. So one tiny little hair has created that line. Not sure whether you can see that or not. Just goes to show, doesn't it? Might just do a couple of these without the hair. There we go. Okay, let's move these out of the way. I've got this sentiment for the inside of the card that says, wishing you a little extra happiness just because you're you, and that's from the Pansy set. I'm actually going to use a larger block, and I'm just going to pop that inside the card. Let's do that now, and I'll do that in the Blackberry Bliss. Like so this is our stamp set of the week. So if you haven't got this and you purchase from me, then I'll send you all of the components, including the, in this case, the die cuts for all the cards, plus the card bases and envelopes, if you purchase that through me during the week that it is our stamp set of the week. And if I've got a spare little pansy, I'm going to pop that on the inside. I probably will have. Okay, so that's going to be our base card. Let's die cut a couple of these leaves out. Just move these out of the way. Wish me luck trying to find that little stamp, by the way. Okay, so there's my leaf. And I would say that our little mini die cutting machine would be perfect for this set. They would all fit in, and it's just nice and quick, especially when you've got small dies and small elements. So there's that one, and let's just do a couple of the double coloured ones. Stay put. Sorry if that's knocking the camera. Might help if I actually position this at the top of the die cut machine. It would be a bit quicker. Okay, we'll just go with 3 leaves, and these are the smaller ones. There are some larger ones as well. There's that one. Let's bring those in so you can see those, and I might do one for the inside. There we go. Now, to create a nice background, what I did for our coffee and card designs was to use some of our stencils or masks, depending on what you prefer to call them, to create a background pattern design. And so I'm just going to look and see whether I need to do that on here or whether there's enough going on. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and I will pop these up with dimensionals. I'm going to tuck that one under there, like so. Sorry if my hand's in the way. Something like that. And then I've got my happy birthday here at the bottom. So it's feeling quite stark in the background, so I am going to use the masks. Let me just grab those. From my coffee and card bag. And I've got a pink brush, and I can never quite decide which one. I think I'm going to use this one here, or this one or the other. So I'm going to do this. I know roughly that my flowers are going to go in here, so I'm literally going to do it just around the edge and maybe a little bit more on either side there. Let's bring in our piece of grid paper just to protect my wooden base here. And what I'm going to do is put a little bit of glue on the back of this to hold it in place. Just a small amount. And then pop that onto here. And when I come to take that off, I'm going to use a twisting motion. I'm going to just pull it round. That will release it really nicely. Okay, and then this one's going to go on top, and I can use post-it note, or I can use some post-it tape, or if I've got some washi tape I could use that. I've got some post-it notes to hand, and this just means you haven't got to sit there and hold it the whole time. That's all. So I'm just going to line this up, let's see, roughly like that. Okay, so these are just post-it notes, and I just want to make sure that I'm not covering up my card where I might be doing my masking and my blending. So I'm going to use the blending brush and colour that in. So as I say, this isn't new, this is what I did previously, but just adds a nice bit of interest. So I'm just seeing what ink is on there. There's probably enough ink there, to be honest, already. So I'm just going to use what's there first. And I like to do that all the way around before I add any other ink. Otherwise you can end up with different colours, which can be effective. One of the girls today did a great job actually using multiple colours for her background. It's really stunning. That was Sid, she did a brilliant job. Okay, so I'm just going to do that. Just lift this up so I can see, and hopefully you might not be able to see, it might be slightly too far away, but I'm not going to risk bringing it all the way up. So just add this bit here and the corner, and then I know that I've got a little bit of a gap sort of left down the sides here, so I'm just going to add a little bit more. And it's surprising how far that ink will go. I think the tendency is to push really hard because you think you've got to sort of get through the stencil, but just build it up slowly. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now you can go back and put that back on. So if you really thought, oh, I need to add a little bit more, you can do that, even just a sort of small area. Let me lift that up to the camera. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so I'm just going to turn that to release it from the backing, and I'm going to put that straight onto my card before I do anything else. Just try to decide if it's got a favourite way to go. Maybe that way. There's not much in it though. Let's just use my seal for speed. There we go. So all the way down. This is very strong tape. You can put a little bit in the middle if you need to, and then just use a tick or sort of rollover motion to release and break the tape. You don't want to end up with it like spaghetti. Okay, there's our base layer. Our birthday is going to go onto there, and I'm just going to reposition these roughly where I had them. Got a different colour there, and then 1, 2, 3 leaves. So I'm going to pop these up with dimensionals just for a little bit of interest, and we're done. So a similar card. Hi Jeanette, I hope you're well. Bless you. You can probably work this one out, to be honest, anyway. So we've just done the stamping with the 2 main colours, and that's Blackberry, Bliss and Bubble Bath. And then I've die cut these ones out. Da, da, da. Like so. And then I've done the same background, but this time I've got my happy birthday that I've die cut with the same colour combination, and I cut the Blackberry Bliss layer from the layer behind so that I wasn't wasting anything. And you can of course manipulate these and bend them up if you wish. this one a little bit higher, and I've got my smaller one, like so. And you can use your blends pens to do additional colouring in if you wish. So there. And then I'm just going to tuck these leaves in. So with the leaves, I'm going to use glue. So just a little on each one, like so, and tuck those in. And then I've got a spare leaf or leaf and a flower for the inside. So just lifting that slightly, putting that on there, there, and here. And then our happy birthday at the bottom. This would have been perfect for my mum. She loved pansies. Sadly no longer with us, but she would have loved this. But I think pansies are a popular flower anyway, relatively easy to grow, I believe. No good asking me because I'm not a gardener in the slightest. Just a little bit more on there. Excellent, I'm glad you're good, Jeanette. Let's just trim that down, it's a little bit too big. And for the centres of the flowers I just used a pen because I managed to ping the tiny little stamp that I was threatening not to lose either onto myself or onto the floor. So I'll be out with a torch shortly. So daisy. Okay, so here's my happy birthday that I've cut out in that same combination. You could obviously do this at an angle. Because of the way that I position this, I'm going to just keep this one straight, like so. So there's our card there. I stamped the sentiment on the inside that comes with that stamp set, and then I'm going to pop a flower and a leaf on the inside. I'm going to keep these flat because also I don't want a ridge when it gets posted. Let's do it this way, like so. And I can just tuck this one in while it's still wet. I can lift it and move it. And there we're done. So sorry it's gone on a bit longer than I intended. There it is. And you know what? I've got another one I'm going to pop on there. Why not? I could put it in the envelope, but I would rather stamp the envelope so that it doesn't fall off. I can't decide where to put it now. There we go. There we are, our finished card. Now you can add a little bit of bling if you wish to that. Thank you, Jeanette. And or you can leave it, or you could add some wink of Stella if you wanted a little bit of glitter and bling on the actual flowers or the petals themselves. I might just see what I've got in terms of bling, although I don't think it particularly needs it. But I've got some pale pink. This one here. and I just think that would look really pretty. So I am going to add those. You could also add these gold ones, these gold sequins in the centre if you wanted to. So let's just pop 1, 2 and 3. There we go. So I hope you like our finished card. I've had great fun making it as always. Let's move that out of the reflection. So there it is, hopefully you can see that there. So I hope you're able to join me. We will be back tomorrow, Wednesday morning at 10 AM. And I will be using some of the other dies in the set to create some different types of pansies. So if you're able to join me for that, I'd love to see you. That's 10 AM tomorrow UK time. And if you're not able to watch, or it's not a suitable time for you depending on where you live, then you'll be able to watch that on replay or catch up at a later date. Thank you so much. We're all done anyway, Kay, so thank you very much. Do take care. I look forward to crafting with you again really soon. I appreciate your support. Bye for now.